is going to come to the city, and that's not going to be the final report. And I'm even more troubled by the email that went out that nothing might be released. And I don't know if you have any insight on that, City Attorney. Do we know now whether something will be released or nothing will be released? Do we have that answer now? Whether something will be or something will not, or do we not know that yet?
Yes, Mayor, members of the council. I'm gonna take a shot at it, and then the city manager's gonna comment on it. On July 24th, Ms. Bacalao sent an email to our Deputy City Clerk, Terry DeNugolo, submitting a formal records request which was attached to her email. In her email, she said, "Please let me know if I need to be more specific in my request." Ms. DeNugolo forwarded that email to all of the city staff who she believed would have documents responsive to that request. The request was very short, asked for the investigation. I responded to Ms. DeNugolo by saying that the request is vague. So in other words, I agreed with Ms. Bacalao that her request was too vague. I indicated that it was impossible to ascertain what she's asking for. It wasn't clear if she was asking for a report or something else. I indicated that under the Public Records Act, she must identify with some specificity the documents she's seeking, and that I didn't think that she had done that. I recommended to Ms. DeNugolo that she contact Ms. Bacalao and ask her if in fact she was seeking a copy of the report, and if so, to advise her that the request is premature. The request was premature because we don't have a report, and we can't provide something that we don't have yet, which goes to another question you asked, but I'll let the city manager talk about that. I received an email shortly thereafter from the police chief informing me that my email to Ms. DeNugolo had also gone to Ms. Bacalao. And I realized that I had been careless in my response to Ms. DeNugolo. It's not something that happens very often, but it happened. And that she, in fact, had read my email. As it turned out, the police chief made the same mistake. She sent an email that you've heard tonight several people read, which also went to Ms. Bacalao, which is how all these folks have a copy of it. Thereafter, I wrote an email to Ms. Bacalao.
Bacalao.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize for that. How do you say it?
Bacalao.
Bacalao. Sorry about that. All right, let the record reflect. It's Ms. Bacalao.
We're just trying to correct these as they happen.
That's good. I'm doing the same, as a matter of fact. This was the content of my email to Ms. Bacalao. It has come to my attention that I inadvertently included you as a recipient to an email that I intended for Terry DeNugolo earlier today. I'm embarrassed by that. It was careless of me, but the content of the email was intended for you via Terry, so I don't feel altogether too embarrassed. In your email to Terry, you wondered if your request was too vague, and I thought it was. Also, as I said in my email, we don't yet have anything in writing from the investigator. Apparently, Chief Papa did the same thing I did, and included you in an email directed to me. Her email suggests that a report will not be made public. I would like to have a short conversation with you before you react to Chief Papa's email. If you will extend me that courtesy, please let me know the best number to reach you and a time today or tomorrow when you are available for a call. Thanks. I never received an email in response to that email, and so I never had an opportunity to offer Ms. Bacalao
It took me a long time too.
the explanation that I had hoped to offer her. So now that all of these emails have been read here tonight, publicly, I'll offer you and the public the explanation that I intended to offer her had she given me the opportunity to call her. And that was this, that several weeks ago, or a month ago, the City Council reaffirmed the policy of this city that any denial of any Public Records Act request comes to my office for final review. That there's no other department or division in this city, including the police department, that will make a determination to deny the disclosure of a public record. Any decision will be made by my office and not the police department. In addition, I was going to say, there is no question but that, as Mr. Barks indicated, there are complications here because some aspects of this investigation involve personnel, and there are state laws that govern how we conduct personnel investigations. There are laws that protect the privacy of our employees. There are laws that protect the privacy of witnesses. As a consequence, there are some limitations on what can be released and what cannot be released. That being said, I was going to say to her that we will be getting a report, I hope, very shortly. And I couldn't agree more that it is a long time coming. Having this stretch out as long as it has not been to anyone's benefit, certainly not the two of us sitting here, because we don't want to keep hearing this over and over again. But the investigator has been in complete command of the timing on this, and there have been various factors that have caused delays, such as delayed interviews caused by attorneys, but that I expected that we would get a report, and that I was expecting that we would get it yesterday, and that once we got that report, it would be reviewed, and it would be reviewed with an eye towards disclosing all aspects of the report, with the exception of those that, without any doubt, had to be withheld by virtue of state laws governing employee investigations or considerations of privacy, and that it was our intent to disclose to the public the truth as best our outside investigator could ascertain it. And that's what I was going to tell her, in the hopes that that would be the end of the matter. It wasn't, so we're here, and I hope that that answers your question, Mayor.
So I just want to make sure, because I asked you gave a much more elaborate response than I expected. My question, I just want to clarify for the records, because sometimes when people talk a lot, they don't get like the final answer. So do we know today whether any portion of that report is going to be made public? Do you know the answer today?
The answer is yes. That portion, a significant portion, I anticipate will be made public.
Okay. And is that something that will come during a council meeting, or do people need to go start making public records requests for the copy of this? Because I'm trying to avert the clerk's office getting 30 requests, and so it's probably just easier if we just answer that question now.
In part, the answer to that question depends on what the City Council does with respect to Councilmember Fangari's other matter later tonight. That's in your hands. Our intention would be to make some sort of a disclosure, not necessarily in a City Council meeting.
Okay.